This is one of the most common questions that I get on the CPA exam from CPA candidates and people online. What order should I take the exams in? What should go first, second, third, fourth? Should I take the easiest? Should I take the hardest and get it out of the way? It can be really hard when you're playing these exams to decide which one to go with first. So today we're going to tackle this common question and go through and pick the best exam order for you. Everyone's a little bit different. Today we'll give you a really good guide on the order you should take your CPA exams in. To pick our CPA exam order, we're going to go through 3 steps here. First, we're going to select your discipline exam. This is a little bit new, right? The discipline exams only started this year. So before we can pick an exam order, we have to know what 4 exams that we're going to take. So we're going to pick that discipline exam first. Second, we're going to pair that discipline with another core exam. And then third, we're going to finalize the order of all 4 exams. So exam pairings, right? The 3 discipline exams each have a pretty good partner, right? A pretty good other test that goes together like peanut butter and jelly, right? There's not a perfect match, but each of the 3 has a really good pair that you can mash together, and we're going to put those next to each other in your exam order. So let's take a look at what those are. Here are the discipline exam pairings. If you decided to take the bar exam, you are going to pair this with FAR. Bar consists of a lot of highly technical accounting, and you're going to learn a lot of that baseline information when you're studying for FAR. So bar will pair really nicely with that. Bar, you also have managerial accounting and financial analysis. This meshes really well with FAR, and it meshes better than any of the other core exams, audit or reg. If you decide to take ISC, we're going to pair that with audit or FAR. ISC is kind of the odd man out here in that it doesn't have a really strong match. It's so different, specializing in information technology and data structures and infrastructure. It doesn't have that perfect partner, but I would probably put this next to audit or FAR. For TCP, we're going to pair this one up with reg, right? Reg is your basic tax exam, and then TCP gets into the weeds, the more complicated tax, compliance, and planning issues. So those 2 are going to make a really good pair. For the bar exam, if you decided to take bar as your discipline exam, this is the recommended order that I'm going to give and suggest for you. Starting out, we're going to put bar in the 3rd spot, okay? And we said the pair here was FAR, right? So FAR is going to go first before bar. You're going to get that basic intro into a lot of the financial accounting and reporting issues. And then when you hit bar, a lot of the highly technical accounting issues, FAR knowledge will come in handy here. I would not start out with bar before FAR in this case. So we have our 2 paired exams in here. Now what are we going to start with for this order, and what are we going to end with? I suggest ending with audit here. Audit needs some knowledge of FAR and bar because you have adjusting journal entries and different types of financial reporting issues that go into the reporting of an audit and other audit work. So this needs to go behind FAR generally, and I'm going to stick it behind FAR and bar here. And this leaves us with only one option for reg. We're going to start out with reg. Reg has the least in common with these other 3 exams. You do need to know some financial accounting in reg because you'll make financial gap to tax adjustments, but I think you're safe here to start out with reg and then flow through to FAR, bar, and end with audit. If you decided to take the ISC exam, here's what we're going to look at for your exam order. We're going to put ISC last in this case. Again, with the information technology heavy testing there, it doesn't have a lot in common with the others. So we're going to stick that 4th. And then we said we could pair this with either audit or FAR. I'm actually going to put audit before it. So we're going to take audit 3rd before ISC. And then similar to the bar order, we're going to do FAR before audit. FAR will help you on the audit exam. And then this leaves, again, the odd man out in this order, reg. So if you're taking ISC, I would suggest reg, FAR, audit, then ISC. If you're taking TCP, here's what your exam order is going to look like. We're going to start with putting TCP at the end in the 4th spot, and obviously Reg is going to go right before it. So you'll take Reg 3rd and TCP 4th. Then what are we going to do next? We're going to put Audit before Reg again because I really like taking Audit after FAR. I think FAR gives you a good baseline and some good knowledge with journal entries that you're going to need on the audit exam. And in this case, you're going to start out with FAR. So that's what your order would look like, what I would suggest if you're taking the TCP discipline exam. What order did I take the exams in when I took them back in 2021? I did this. I took BEC obviously because it was for the discipline exams came out, but I started with FAR, and my reasoning was I wanted to take the hardest exam first back then. And so I just went right out of the gates and did FAR. And then I pivoted to Reg and back to Audit. And this is kind of weird, right? Because I was suggesting to do Audit right after FAR in a lot of these scenarios. But I didn't do that for whatever reason. I thought Reg was the second hardest, so I jumped ship there. I got my worst score on Audit. It was still an 89, and I passed, so it was nothing to worry about. But I think I would have done a little bit better on Audit if I had gone right after FAR and remembered some of that journal entry, some of that accounting that you need in the audit exam. Reg was just kind of a weird exam. I plugged in the middle of those two. And then BEC back then was such a catch-all of an exam. It had so many different topics on it that I just did that one last, and it was the easiest. But that's what I did. I will give a disclaimer here and say that, again, there is no perfect order for your CPA exams. Do what feels the best for you. These are some good guidelines and some good ways to think about the order when pairing them with the new discipline exams. Another caveat too, if you fail an exam, I'd highly suggest maybe going back and giving it at least a second try and retaking that exam once before you move through your order. Having gone through studying one time, even if you get a failing score, I think it can be really valuable to check out your score report and then go back and try that exam again just one more time, especially if you're really close. If you got the 70 to like 74 or high 60s, I'd highly suggest taking another shot at that exam before going back. If you have failed an exam 2 or 3 times in a row, maybe it's a good idea to give yourself a break and just move on to the next one and come back later. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it helped you get a better idea for what exams you're gonna take and in which order. If you have more questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you wanna know how to better pick your discipline exam, I have a detailed video and I'll put that in the description below. Thanks again and keep up with your studying.